Hello to another episode of the First Contact series. Today we already decided to derail everything and go with a brand new group that no one knows about, but we have to talk about. Today I'm joined by...
I'm Kayla.
And I'm Sammi.
And I'm Dan, and today's group is Lucy.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay, Lucy. And you probably have seen it once or twice on our Twitter, how much we spam these guys, but now we're going to talk about why you should spam and why you should stan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the
All right.
puns.
Oh,
Yep.
That's not even a pun. It's just
not
a
a pun,
rhyme.
it's just a bad rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
All right. So, to start off with Lucy, Lucy is a very, very, very new band.
Very new.
They debuted officially on May 8th, 2020 of this year, and they are under Mystic Entertainment, which is an SM subsidiary company.
Which means
They have
might
four
have some
members. They do. They are in an actual like pretty well-known company. So they have four members. There's Ye-chan, who plays violin, which is amazing,
Violin
and that's
K-pop!
that's really the thing that drew us into this band in the first place, was the fact that they had a violinist.
Yay!
And then there's Gwangil, who plays the drums and is also a vocal. Wonsang, who is the bassist, and he also is the producer for the group and the vocal. And then Sangyub, who is the main vocal and a guitarist.
So they were actually, before they debuted as a full group, they were on a show called Superband, which, yes, we did try to watch, and does not exist with subtitles anywhere. Literally
It's a sad
nowhere.
day.
It's very depressing.
It's a really sad day.
So all of them were professional musicians before. They come from a variety of musical backgrounds, and so they ended up being sort of made into a band on the show. Considering the fact that there's no English subtitles, I don't really know what the format of the show was, because there was a bunch of musicians, bunch of people from different bands, and then they made new bands. They ended up coming in second place, and then had to replace their main vocal because he had to go back to his original group, and the other three decided to stay together as a group, and then found a new vocalist, signed under Mystic Entertainment. And
Yeah, the reason they ended up under Mystic is because Gwangil was already a trainee there, and I think he sort of just brought the rest of the members over there after the show.
And a fun part is that their name, Lucy, comes from a Doberman puppy that they spent time with in the studio while they were on Superband. So they just named their group after this adorable little dog, which I think is lovely.
That's so cute.
It's just a good way. And it does seem like, it's just like, all right, well, it kind of worked for us on the show. You want to give it a shot? And they got themselves a label and they went for it. And it's working. I think they offer enough of a unique charm to them to make it work.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the debut, which is where this all started for us.
Really it is.
Yes.
With the beautiful track called Flowering. And I mean, we were all instantly sold.
Yeah.
There's not much more other than that.
I saw there was a violinist, and then I was all in.
Yeah,
I was all in after the violin.
Because it starts with a violin, and then from there you're like, okay. And then you realize they're a band, and you're like, okay. And then they're just so good. And you're like, this is the violin. You had me at the violin. You have me for forever with the fact that you're this good on your debut together, where you've been together for a couple months, considering the fact that like they met on the show, then also had to replace their main vocalist. So like this group of four has only been together for a very short period of time, and you're already that good together. I can only imagine how good you're gonna be later.
Yep, it's pretty great. And I think we're all fans of bands. I think we all like different bands as well. I'm a huge fan of Day 6 and The Rose, and I know you like, Sammi likes One Wee, right?
I love One Wee and FT Island are my two favorites. And
I'm big into N Flying and CN Blue, so we really just cover
all
the bands.
All the bands
are covered.
And so we really like this group. So this is a good start. It's fun. they have a pretty small discography.
Yeah.
It's literally
Yep.
Flowering and their intro.
On their
Intro's
debut.
great as well.
They also have three
It's
bands.
their debut.
They have 3 songs from their Superband. Flare.
One of them is a cover, though.
Yeah, one of them.
Crybird's a cover.
A cover, which actually
Yeah.
they got noticed for, which was very cute.
They did.
That was very cute. And Snooze.
Mm-hmm.
Flare, they actually, because all 3 of those Superband songs have their old vocalist on it, they released a new version of Flare, which is the song they did for the finale, if I'm right.
Yeah, it was.
And they released a new version with their new vocalist. And it's incredible. It's a 6-minute song. We just listened to it before we started recording, and none of us felt like 6 minutes had passed. It's so good.
No,
Yeah.
that's what's
really
the
nice.
fun of bands, honestly, and especially when it's live like that. You can actually just that's like, if I were ever to go to a concert, I would want to go to a band concert just because it allows for just way more just movement and feeling the music, because you can hear a track that's great, but when it's performed live, it makes all the difference. And I think when it's 6 minutes pass by and you're just like, oh, I wasn't done listening and
more.
watching the drummer just go ham, or the violinist just get his solo and just go ham on that as well, and you're just like, oh, more please. Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
With a band, you can go on for like 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and people won't notice. They won't care. They just want to hear more, because you have the instruments as well to back up your.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty strong vocals too.
They
so
are.
They do.
yeah.
And I've also never seen a band have a drummer that is also a vocalist, because it is impossible to play the drums while singing.
So we need to also, this is the time to bring up
the
that
members.
Glenn Gill, the drummer, was not a drummer
No,
when
he
he
was
auditioned
not.
for Superband. He came in the show as a vocalist and a guitarist, and then during one of their the rounds, they realized that their group was like missing drums from like their performance, like they needed to have it, and he was like, oh, I have some experience on the drums, I'll just try playing the drums, and then he did, and now he's the drummer.
It's magic. It's just like, oh, I have some
Perfect.
talent. Turns out you're and then if you watch something like, it's not basic drumming, because you have like, it's good drumming. Like, it's like, you wouldn't think that he had just learned this instrument.
Yeah.
No, yeah. And again, a vocal, like, does take parts to sing. I mean, it's not easy. Most drummers can't and won't.
It's usually like the beginning before he starts drumming. Like, he doesn't have many lines, but the fact that he has lines at all, that also brings a uniqueness to this group, where it's like you have not only a violinist, but of the 4, because you literally cannot sing while playing the violin. That's another thing you can't do.
Yeah.
That's also impossible. So he's
cannot do
out
that.
of the fact of like he can't be singing, but like the fact that
Right.
you're having a drummer sing, that's another thing that's unique about this group.
Exactly. Yeah, that's really great, and he sings well too, because that's kind of what his gig was before. So that was neat. No, they have some pretty. Yeah, we talked. They had some good covers. I think all of us right after Flowering, I think we saw that they released the Bad Boy cover by Red
Yes.
Velvet, and we all were like, well, this is a good one too, because we all like the song and hate the song.
We have
it gets overplayed, and
we have
we get sick
conflicting
of it.
emotions about the song "Bad Boy" by Red Velvet.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
But this is a new take on it that we're like, okay,
It's very good. It's a very good cover.
It's a very
of the
good
song.
cover of this song.
It almost sounds like a different song.
It
honestly,
does. It does.
The way they cover it.
Turning that song into a band song just brings, and adding a violin to it, which again, I'm a very big proponent of more violins in K-pop.
Yes.
More violins. You can never have enough. But
More
like,
violins, the better.
adding that to that song, I think, just gives it a whole nother dimension. Which, for a song that I've seen a million covers of, and it's been played 1,000,001 times, this is something different for that.
Yep. No, again, it's good, because when you take a song that's like, again, like, they didn't decide, like, everyone does this cover, so they're just like, all right, well, we're gonna do it too, but we're gonna do it where it's actually unique, and people will listen to it and not feel like, oh, I've already heard this before. This is a different song, and that was great. That was super fun to see. But yeah, that's, in terms of music that we have so far, that's almost about it. Like,
They
we don't
have
that much.
another cover video that they did on Idol Radio, which is, it's Bad Boy and Dolphin by Oh
A
My
Girl.
Girl.
Yeah,
And
it's
I don't
I think there's
remember
a
the
third
other
one.
ones. There's another one.
Let me go.
Oh, it's A Pink.
Yeah, it's the
The song I can't pronounce.
the dump.
Drum da dum da
That
Yeah.
one.
That one. Yeah. Okay. That's some new songs. Is good.
Their
It
cover
was
of
also a very
Dolphin
good
is
cover.
absolutely. I'm a big Oh My Girl fan, and that cover of Dolphin is just so cute.
It's so
and then
cute.
doing the little like part of Dolphin on a like just plucking the strings of violin is just absolutely adorable.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's some fun facts that we could talk about.
These are not really that fun facts. I literally took them from their K-pop profiles.
All right, never mind. We have some perfectly normal and average facts.
This is about all we have.
And also, they are not really a traditional K-pop group. They're almost the closest you can compare them to is like an indie band because it's like I don't know. I just love
This
them.
is all we have
all
on
we
them.
have.
It's like
all we
we
know.
really want to know everything we can about them,
The
but we don't
problem
have a
is,
lot
like,
to
we
go
can
off
wa-
of
like,
here.
We've watched. Me and Kayla have both watched all of their videos that they've released. Like, we've watched their apartment tour. We've watched that one birthday
The
video.
Gwangil's birthday party, yeah.
The thing is, there's nowhere to find English subtitles. So, like, we watch it, we laugh, but we have no idea what's going on. I want to know more. Give me the
I do.
opportunity to know more. Which is also partially why we're doing this, so that more people can know about this
Please.
group and like this group, and
Everyone
they can
needs
become
to
more
know about
popular.
Yeah,
and then we
make
get more
subtitles
content.
for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Awesome.
All right.
Are any of these fun facts like actually very fun?
I don't know.
They kicked out the violinist
because he
of
snores.
snoring.
They kicked
Yeah.
him out of their
used to
bedroom.
share a room, and then they had to kick out their violinist because he snored.
Mm-hmm.
That's cute.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, Sangyub, the main vocal, he was on Duet Festival in 2016 with Vix's Ken. And I think I also saw, because I watched an Introduction to Lucy video, he has a couple of OSTs.
Yeah, he's got some OSTs for
as
some
well.
shows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've seen any
Yep.
of those shows, but they're
One of them
not...
was My First Love. Was
Yeah, My
one of
First
them.
Love. Was that one of the ones you watched, Dan? No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It was the one I started watching and then didn't like it because I could see the direction it was going and I didn't care.
Sounded like a
Sorry.
you show. I'm sorry.
It did
It
sound
did
like
sound
a new
like
show.
a new show, which is why I started watching it, and I'm just like, oh dear.
And honestly,
not.
they're not even like those very, because I've heard of all the shows he did OSTs for. I just haven't seen them, and like they're not
Well, I
unknown
had heard
shows.
of it, so that's they're
They're
not unknown
shows.
shows.
They're
as
not
they
like
say,
those
so that's
random
good.
shows that no one's heard of or watched.
I feel like the other one was like Welcome to Waikiki.
Welcome
was
to
the other
Waikiki
one.
was one of them, and I don't remember what the third one
Yeah.
was. And Welcome to Waikiki
I haven't
was very
seen.
popular.
Yeah, it was. I haven't seen any of them though. Those are
No.
just like not my type of shows.
No.
But good for him for having OSTs there.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think again, like, I do think that they could do more of that as a group too. I feel like they would be a great OST group.
Oh,
Yes.
they
I
would be
would
an amazing.
I
Oh,
think they would be a
amazing.
great intro or like even an
Honestly, I
outro
think
to
they would
any
also
show
be a
would
very
amazing.
good. I want to see more from them because I feel like they do very good albums. Like, because they
Yeah,
they can make a
they would.
6-minute song feel short. That's a group I want to listen to for 45 minutes, doing like a full album.
That would be
That'd be
awesome.
amazing.
That would be
Yep.
great.
I want more.
Well,
The other thing is
more. I mean, they just started.
Yep.
We can't complain.
we want more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we do.
And the
We
other
want
thing I
more
want to
already.
mention about Ye-chan, the violinist, is that he's also was very part of a very popular busking group. So like all of them have had like big careers before this. Like they're also like a surprisingly older group.
They are. They are definitely much older than like a regular, K-pop group would debut at. Because one of them, Ye-chan's like born in 92, I think. And then the youngest is Gwangil, and he's 97.
Yeah.
So it's definitely on the old side.
Yeah, so that's
for, like, a
they're an
K-pop
older group.
For a debut.
Yeah, for a
sure,
debut.
yeah.
But for a band it's a little different, I find.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bands
bands-
aren't sort of under the same kind of rules
Yeah.
that K-pop groups are.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to be as active when it comes to the dancing portion, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like bands don't often go on a lot of shows and stuff.
They-
like
I mean,
some
they
idol
can't.
groups do.
I mean, especially something like a music show, they're not actually allowed to play their own instruments. So they don't really do
Yeah.
promotions past a week because miming instruments for more than a week, I think, one, is probably disheartening to them, and two, there's not much you can do.
Right.
Yeah,
When
I
that's
don't
your
think-
selling point.
Yeah.
I don't think they went on any of the.
They don't.
Like.
That's why
music
that's
shows
why I
at all.
almost consider them more like an indie band, because they don't
Yeah.
do any kind of shows like that.
Mm-hmm. They're giving us like the great like YouTube content that most K-pop groups will give. Like that's very typical of like any other K-pop group. But in terms of like how they're promoted and sort of how they release music, I think is very different than like your typical K-pop. Yeah.
We're very excited.
Gwangil is, I think, one of the most talented people ever.
Yeah.
Because he used to live in Peru
knows
for a
some
while, so
Spanish.
he can speak Spanish and also can speak and read Chinese.
Which, again, so difficult. Chinese is one of the hardest languages.
Pretty sure he can also play the guitar and the bass, so he can just
And he
be
learned the drums.
his own band, and he
Yeah.
learned the drums.
He's a
and
one-man
vocal.
band.
He is a one-man band. That man, like,
Yep.
it's incredible.
And the other thing is that Wansung, he produces most of their tracks. He produces I think all of their tracks so far he's produced. And so he's also, and he's their bassist. So, like, it's just
Yep.
talents all
He is-
around.
A strong producer in a band is always
Mm-hmm.
needed, and that really goes to show. I mean, look at Brian from Day 6. He's a strong producer as well, so you can see that really goes to show how a band will perform in the future, especially when it comes to like album releases and stuff, because when you are just already like with a band, what I like about it, the dynamic is so different because it's really just like, all right, pluck a few strings here and there. Like a practice session for a typical idol group is like, all right, we have this choreography planned out, we have this like song written for us, let's go practice it for hours on end every single day. But when it comes to a band, it could really just be like, hey guys, we want to just meet up and just have a jam sesh and just play around. And then they're like, ooh, I like that, write that down. And then they just do that all day, and it's a lot more fun, and they can just do it. And when you have a producer there with you, who's a member of the band because he knows what he's doing, you start going at it, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, that sounds cool. Let's try this. So like, that's what I like about bands so much. And then when it comes to the work ethic and the no life mentality of the K-pop industry, you could get a lot of work done. So yeah, that's interesting.
Another thing I wanted to bring up for them as like a whole band is this is sort of what they were doing on Superband. I don't know how much of this concept they're bringing through like now, but when they were on Superband, they were big into what was called like ambient pop music. So they went around and recorded a lot of just like sounds in like the city, or they did a cover that was involved like water. So they went and recorded like sounds of like the Han River at night and all of this type of
Awesome.
stuff.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
And
as
so
well.
in their Superband songs, it's very apparent that they
They're
have all
adding,
these like
like,
background
sounds.
side effects in it. Like in Flare, there's like actual fireworks and stuff that they had actually went to like a festival and recorded. And I think that's really interesting. It gives them something very unique about their music, and I think it's one of the reasons I like it so much. Is there's like
More
a
authentic.
Yeah,
it's a
there's
very
very-
authentic sound because it's
very
on
like
top of the
immersive,
already
yeah.
authentic violin that is
Present.
present, you have authentic sounds of like nature and rivers and stuff like that. Yeah,
I also like
that.
that they
I love when
actually
do that.
actually went out and recorded it, because it'd be very easy just to use a stock sound, because there's a million stock sounds for everything.
right.
But it's far more
Right.
authentic to go out and just get it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun. I've watched clips of different bands doing that as well. It's like, all right, we're out here going on a hike trail to record some nature sounds, so this will be fun. And they just get to hang out and they're like, ooh, do you hear that? It's so, and that's like, again, a genuine love of music for them, because they're just like, oh, you can hear music everywhere, and that's what makes the band dynamic so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, typically this is where we talk about
first contact.
the first
To
contact
keep up with
and
Dan's format,
that knee
as we
slap
try.
and yeah, I told you. Episode 2, we're already butchering the concept. That's fine, because this is an important thing to record.
We have to.
But
we have
anyway,
to
we
promote.
have to ask the
We have to
questions.
promote.
Yeah. Me and Sammy
Yep.
went to Dan and was like, listen, we're commandeering your show format.
We're doing
Yeah.
this. You can either
I
be
am
here
in
or
full
not.
approval.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to because this is
So,
great.
Dan, what was your first contact with Lucy?
Well, honestly, I guess it would be different because I think it was you, Kayla, that said like, "Oh,
Oh,
my gosh,
yes.
violin," and I'm just like, "What? Violin? K-pop? Okay, I guess I'll give it a shot." And by then, you guys had already listened to it like 80 times each, and I'm just like, "Okay, I get it. I approve. I'll hop on this bandwagon. Let's do it."
We ended up just
And,
dragging
yeah,
Dan in
that
here.
was
It's
the-
fine.
Yeah.
I got dragged in, but it wasn't kicking and screaming. Let's just put it that way.
We guided him by the hand. It wasn't so much
Oh,
a
for
dragging.
sure.
We just
It
guided
was
him
guiding
by the hand.
to a beautiful light, and I'm basking in the glory of the violin and the beautiful band, which is Lucy.
Yes. For me, someone had advertised a song on like a K-pop Discord, and I listened to it, and I heard the violin in the first like 5 seconds, and I'm like, this is it. I have to stand them. Like, this is amazing.
Immediately.
And then afterwards, I went and I took the link to the video and I posted it in like every K-pop Discord I was in. I was like, stand them. They have a violinist. And then
Mine,
slowly started to get other people into it.
Kayla just was like spreading the good news.
I was like, listen, you have to listen to them.
I ended up YouTube recommends me almost most random bands, K bands. So I was just like, "Oh, what's this?" And then there was a violin and I'm like, "Okay." Okay, and I just watched it I think 3 times like
Go on.
I just kept replaying it and just being like, more of the, and I replayed it for like half an hour. Just replayed the music video when it came out and I was just like, more of this. More.
And the music video is cute as well. I don't know if we mentioned
yeah,
that, but it's actually pretty well done.
I mean, it's very simple, but I think
it's your typical K indie band.
But
look.
well done.
I mean,
it's not like
It's very
well
well
done.
shot and well
Yes.
produced.
Yes, you can tell it's not the most expensive thing, but it doesn't look like those super cheap music videos
Right.
either. It's just a very well made K-pop video,
Yep.
and I think
And so that knee slapping moment,
Yeah.
what was it?
The-
What was
What was
that
the knee
moment?
slapping
Was it the
moment?
first 5 seconds?
With the violin.
First 5
Violinist.
seconds of the song.
It was
that
that
was
violin.
it. That's all it took. It
That
really
was
all
it.
it took.
look, you had us at the violin, but to keep us,
The
it was
first
the rest
3
of it.
strings of the song, and you're just like, all right.
Yep.
Look,
That's it.
not only
You
was it
got
the
me.
first 3 strings of the song, they give the man a solo in like the middle of the. There's just a violin
Yep.
solo in Flowering. What more
Very
can
well
I
And that's
tell
the
deserved
you?
best part,
violin
because you
solo.
know that's gonna happen every track as well. Because that's how you use a violin to its fullest
It's
potential. is
gorgeous.
It's so good.
give its time to shine. And the best part is there's so much you could do with a violin. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the violin. I have a couple friends who that I know in real life that, well, she plays the viola and she does like a volunteer symphony where she goes with other people and they perform, and I love going and watching her. That was fun. But I was a huge Lindsey Sterling fan before
Oh,
all
yes,
this,
me too.
and like there is so much you can do with a violin, and it works. It really works with K-pop. It's shockingly. I mean, just look at
All the Road to Kingdom
Road to Kingdom,
performances.
exactly.
Yeah, when
All the
three
roads-
of
All 3 of
They're-
them. They
it's-
just
just brought in the violin.
Yep.
Yeah, it's starting to show. It works with K-pop.
Lucy
so,
debuted, and then everyone is doing violins. I mean,
That's
yeah,
the
maybe
turning
they're
point.
just stealing their idea.
The turning
That's
point
it.
was Lucy.
2020 violin. That's all I'm saying. So yeah,
It's just,
and
and the other thing is
just
just, it's
works.
so light and just so, it just makes you smile. Like, it's just so light
Exactly.
and airy, and you just, it's happy. And I think that,
you don't have to have high notes or
no,
a cute little bubblegum pop style song to give you that happiness. You can just all incorporate it into a singular note on a violin, and it works. So that's awesome.
and I also want to highlight everybody else, because it's just like everyone else is also just playing, like, they give moments for everyone to be highlighted. Like, all the members are just
Yeah.
so good, and just giving everybody a moment to shine. And I think the
They all
violin,
work
you
together.
talk.
It's not just a one
We don't.
person show.
I know we're harping on the violin a lot, but it's just like he's just the most unique part of that group. Is like, oh, this isn't a violin that's coming in as, okay, for this song the gimmick is that there's a violin. No, he's a member of the group.
He's just there.
and a well
Yeah.
integrated member of the group that's working well with
Isn't he
everything.
the leader of the group?
He
Yeah,
is.
he
isn't
is. He's the oldest member
Yeah.
as well.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Stan Lucy.
Stan Lucy, guys.
Stan Lucy.
So here we have the moment that the question is why you should stan. Dan, concise opinion.
Stan Lucy.
Stan Lucy.
Because I besides the fact that, like, okay, take the violin out, it's still a good band. I'll still hold on to that. I still think the vocalists are strong enough. The fact that the drummer sings as well, that's a huge sell for me, because I love drumming and I love drummers, but a lot of the time they're not the best vocalists when they do get lines, and when they do get lines, it doesn't add much to the song. It just is like, oh my gosh, the drummer sang, pay attention.
It's also like very
but
short
here
lines.
It's just like, yeah, very short lines. But here
drumming.
they use that as well. Yeah, not in the middle. Yeah, but they use they're going to use him as well. So that's like a huge selling point for that. And then we just add in a violin on top of that, and you're just like, oh, okay, great. The bassist, I think he's probably my favorite vocalist. The lead is good as well, the guitarist, but I do like that bassist voice. Again, there's only one song to really like judge their own song. Their intro is
also great,
good.
yeah. But it's also just like an instrumental, which is great because of the violin really is like enables them to make really good intros for albums
unique.
and whatever.
It's amazing.
Right. But again, like, I do think, vocally they all shine, and instrumentally they all shine as well. So that's why you should stan Lucy.
Kayla?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything that Dan said for once. Like, what a shocker that is.
This is probably the why we had to rush this out, because we're just like, oh my gosh, so we all like quick before we all change our minds.
Before something else happens.
This isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy this moment.
Right. But another thing I'd like to just sort of add is, like, I really like the like style of music that they've been doing. They've sort of had a similar style from their Superband songs, like and Flowering in the intro, where it's very calming and it's almost like very immersive in a way. And I think the ambient pop thing is a way that sort of makes it more sort of calming and immersive that way. And I like don't really know how to describe it, but it's definitely a style of music that I haven't seen in K-pop yet. And I just really enjoy it, and I think it's really unique.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy, any final words?
Stan Lucy, guys. I don't know what else to add to just everything else that they've sort of concisely said everything. I think that it's just sort of...
Yep.
I think that we all, like, ask for, like, new and unique and everything, and, like, this is a group that's, like, presenting it to you on a silver platter of, like, here, we're both new and unique and also really good at what we're doing. It's like the best of both worlds.
And again, they're so young and early in their career, like, as this unit, that it'll be anxious to see what they offer more of. Because, again, like, that's what a lot of the groups that I really like are either older or have just started. Because once you get to those, like, all right, they've had a few tracks, you've had enough to sample them, this is what they do, you can either choose to like it or not, you know? There's a few groups that I've been like that, like, oh, their early stuff is so good because I just followed their start, and then I'm like, okay, well, now they're releasing in this direction, which I don't like. But right now, it's still in those early years of just like, all right, this is it. This is all we got, and I love it so far. And from, like, again, the different covers that they've done, I think that I will continue to like this thing. And what's so fun about a band is they can go in really fun ways and still hold on to that uniqueness that they have. So I'm excited for more.
I'm so excited.
That's also partially why we're trying to promote Lucy as much as we can, because we're like, we want more, so like more people need to listen.
Well, thank you so much, Sammy and Kayla, for sharing Lucy, and thank you, Lucy, for being Lucy. I have no idea when we'll make more of these first contacts, but I love this format. It's quick, easy, and gets to the point of why this group is amazing.
Again, Oh My Girl and Want Us whenever you want to.
Alright. It'll happen. One day. On a random time.
We have
where
to
I'll show up an hour late because of time zones.
We only need to plan these like a day in advance. We said
I know. We literally told you last night. It was like, yo, we're recording a Lucy episode tomorrow. Be there.
Show up
or don't.
Yeah.
We're doing it
it's
anyway.
Happening.
We're taking your format. We don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It works. Well, yeah. Follow our socials and stuff.
Or Twitter, and
And
that's it.
Twitter.
We're gonna
that's
spam
it.
more
Yeah.
Lucy videos when they come out.
We will always spam Lucy.
Yeah, don't be surprised from that. That's all we're saying.
It's
So now
Lucy.
this is the context. This is the context for all that.
Yep.
It's gonna be Lucy
If you're
and
confused,
Wangy
we'll
Bo.
just link you this. Yep. Wangy Bo and Lucy. That's who we stand here.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Thank you.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.